Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Sarah Crilley and so excited to talk true, authentic Italian restaurant experiences with Davios, none other than Maddie Smith. Welcome, Maddie.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Excited to have you. So you are the sales and events manager and you've been with Davios since the beginning of the grand opening here within Grandscape. How's it going?
So far, so good. We've seen a really good response with the community to welcoming us here to Grandscape, and we're excited to be a part of the community.
It truly is such a unique experience at Davios. So when you walk in, you can just see it is just floor to ceiling, absolutely gorgeous. 2 floors of a restaurant experience that is Italian that you don't want to miss. So Maddie, let's unpack it all from the moment that you get greeted at the door with or without a reservation. I've noticed.
Yes.
Family, friends, the whole thing. What's it like?
So our focus is it's all about the guest, and that goes from the second our inner guests, we call them, our team, walk in the door for preparing everything, all the way to the point when you walk in the door. So it's that experience. You know, as you mentioned, you've got the room, which is beautiful floor to ceiling windows. We have our signature Davios columns. That's a trademark of our locations.
It's gorgeous. It's so captivating, y'all. I walk in and I'm like, oh, it's just so pretty. I can't wait to bring like my whole family here, which we do have reservations coming up. I've got special birthday planned for my husband.
Perfect.
So he loves Italian. So I've been waiting for that special moment to bring him in. Why not a birthday?
I love to party. I'm the sales and events manager, so always the perfect place for a birthday and anniversary. But that's the vibe when you walk in. It's elegant, it's modern, it's bright, and then you pair that with the finest ingredients for the food, expert service. We have an incredible chef team. We have an in-house pastry chef who's fabulous. There's so much care into everything, every detail that goes into the experience, and that's really what we pride ourselves on.
I can tell when I walk in, and I've done everything from ordering food to go for my son. He's a huge spaghetti lover. Those giant meatballs are just unforgettable. And the popovers are so good. The food, y'all, is unbelievable. And again, the experience is so magical. Let's talk a little bit more in depth on the private dining experience. So talk about everything from making your reservations, some of those different events that Davios inspires.
I take care of the private dining and the events. So on site, we've got 7 fully private event spaces as well as 1 semi-private space. We also have a chef's table that overlooks our open kitchen if you want to see a little bit of the action.
Wow.
As well as a covered patio upstairs outside Grandscape room, which you've got a fabulous picture of.
A perfect
right
picture
there. Right there with the Grandscape kaleidoscope in the background there. So there's really a little bit of everything for all size groups. So on the reservation side of things, like you said, coming in for a birthday with a small group, that's perfect. With a larger group, when you really want to all sit together and be able to have that conversation and really enjoy each other's company, which after the year we've all had, that's been really special, is to be able to, be the place for those memories that are, finally being able to be made again, and, share a meal around a table and celebrate things that I think are easy to take for granted, as we all found out. So that brings me joy in the process, and being able to plan everything from rehearsal dinners from people's weddings that have been postponed to, finally an out of quarantine birthday. It's been a special time to get back to that.
Oh, Maddie, I'm so glad you touched on all of that, because again, creating that experience and warm and welcoming is what you guys are all about. And I absolutely enjoy all of it. What you just said, that's just so beautiful. Your whole face just lit up just now. So let's talk a little bit more in depth of why you do what you do.
I've always really naturally gravitated toward hospitality experiences. It's experiences I enjoy, and it's experiences I enjoy creating. So for me, when I'm putting together an event with a group, my take is there's not a one-size-fits-all when it comes to any event, no matter how small or how large. There's always a priority for me, really understanding what a group needs and what's going to be important to them and what's going to make it memorable and special for them. And I think that's what can set apart, an average experience from something that's really excellent. And I always say I don't do anything halfway, so that extends into planning events with our clients and with executing them. That's the standard that our team is held to, is an excellent experience every time, to make sure that our guests are really having the best of the best.
I love that. So let's talk about the element of surprise and
Okay.
having that. So let's role play this whole
Sure.
birthday experience. So my husband, it seems like he can always guess the surprise. So I think I'm going to probably come a little early,
Sure.
bring the gift because he can't see me carry it in. So
Right.
you guys will help me with that. Just like hide the gift.
Yeah.
What about
So we love things like that. So any little touch, any way that we can kind of go the extra mile for something like that. We love hearing those requests. We love, I have a call yesterday. Hey, can we have a half bottle of so-and-so children waiting at our table for our anniversary? Like, sure, that's, we can take care of that. We can have it ready for you. So we love taking care of the little details to make it just that much more special for you.
And we got to get into the dessert. What are some of those dessert options?
Oh my goodness. So we have, as I mentioned, a fantastic in-house pastry chef and pastry team. It's an all-scratch kitchen, the best of the best ingredients, and our desserts are to die for. My favorite, we have a warm apple butter cake it's like a warm, gooey butter cake with a cinnamon apples on top and then a vanilla bean gelato. It's unbelievable.
Definitely needs to save room for dessert.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. How do we do that between the popovers and the spaghetti and all of the things?
You just have
Save
to
room for
power
dessert.
through. You have to just power through or take it with you. You can't miss it.
That's right. And we've had leftovers and it's delicious. I actually like it, either or, best or better the next day. It's something about the sauce. It just reheats
yes.
so well. Which I think is all Italian. Anything with the pasta dish is always so good. What other items to order for dessert?
We have a little bit of everything. We have a warm chocolate cake that's served with a stracciatella gelato, which is kind of an Italian chocolate and cheese gelato, and Amarone cherries. We have a whole host of other traditional desserts. We've got the panna cotta. We've got the classic tiramisu. And we also do full-size cakes. So that's something that ties really well into the event piece of it is any sort of celebration cake can be pre-ordered for the events as well, which is really nice to have in-house.
Oh, fantastic. And do you recommend that you're ordering like large meals for everybody to share, or what does that look like?
On the event side? My recommendation always that we do a custom prefix, which is kind of the general structure of our private dining menus. So we've got different options for lunch, different options for dinner, and that would be plated. Typically, it's a custom preset menu at the place settings. So that's something that I build for the groups. And from there, they're able to order what they want from each course day of. So it's just a little bit more of an elegant experience. Having that custom pre-selected menu.
Maddie, that sounds absolutely fabulous.
It's great.
So I would be remiss if we didn't touch a little bit about the Davios story and the
Sure.
different locations throughout the U.S.
Our chef CEO, Steve Difillippo, started Davios 25 years ago with the original location and had the concept of the Northern Italian steakhouse, which is something very unique to us. And the focus there was Italian, emphasis on the grill.
It's about service here. Hey, I'll whack you over the head.
Boston area based, with locations also in Philadelphia, Atlanta, and then here in first one in Texas. So we're excited to be bringing it here to the DFW area.
We're so excited to have you, y'all. Thank you for coming
Y'all,
to
yes.
Texas. And you've absolutely perfected it by coming here. So we're so excited. Okay, I've got to ask you,
Sure.
Maddie, what's your favorite dish at Davios?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me this, and it's impossible to choose because I've had almost the entire menu, and there's not a bad dish on the menu. Which
Well, let's just walk through maybe
Sure.
the handful of favorites.
I'm a huge pasta person, so that's a can't miss for me whenever I'm dining there. Our hand-rolled potato gnocchi, pillows of heaven, as we like to refer to them. They are so light, they're so fluffy, and that has organic wild mushrooms and a white truffle oil sauce. So it's unbelievable. And you can smell it when someone orders it and it's being served. You can smell it
can
as it
smell
goes
it.
by.
You're like, I'll have
That right there. Exactly.
Made it really easy. I've seen it prepared so many ways. More of a tomato-based sauce or more of a Parmesan. So this is like a beautiful in-between of, actually this is completely separate. This is a truffle sauce.
Yeah, it's white truffle and the mushrooms. So the nice thing though about having, the different pasta pieces, if you love our bolognese and you have to have it with gnocchi instead of tagliatelle, which is how it typically comes,
Ah, that's like what's that? The off the menu.
Little secret menu. Yeah, no,
We have just heard and experienced here with Maddie. I love that.
our steaks are really can't miss. The seafood's so fresh. We hear that all the time. We haven't had seafood this fresh since the East Coast, which is because it's coming from the East Coast. So we have torta pesce, which is a raw bar tower. And you can get that hot or cold. So
What's
that's
that?
always a showstopper. And there's oysters, there's scallops. It's a whole array of shrimp. And it's either served cold on ice, and that's more of a raw bar style, or you can order it hot, which is sauteed with all sorts of other sauces and flavors.
Ooh, what do you recommend? Hot or cold?
It depends on who you are. I would get two. Get one of each and get a small one.
Okay, am
And
I
that way
still
you don't
going to
have
have room for my main course? I order, is it quite a handful? You want to have a whole group with you, one on each side of the table? Hot and
That's how
cold?
most of my groups do it. A lot of my event groups will have one to a table, just to get everybody started.
Oh, what a fun starter. And seafood. Who doesn't love seafood?
Well, exactly. And the nice thing about our menu, it's really hard to get bored. It's really, really hard to get bored. And that's even the beauty of with the events and having, groups hosting multiple times, is there's about 1 million ways to build your menu to where you're not sick of anything. You can have a pasta focus, you could have a steak focus, you could do all of it. You can have a surf and turf. There's really a lot of ways to keep the experience fresh.
So important.
Yes.
I know when I'm making my dining decisions, I do like to mix it up. So I'm going to try the gnocchis next time. Maybe for my husband's
Well, because you
birthday
got the
surprise.
bolognese, right?
I did.
Yes.
Y'all, so good. And that's why there was so much food, right? And that's the other thing. The plates are huge. You will not be starved when you leave, okay? You are getting a very healthy portion that you leave with, but definitely save room for the dessert because I haven't had the dessert yet. I know.
You haven't had it.
I know.
I could have brought you dessert.
You're way too sweet. No. We've saved it for my husband and
Okay.
the whole experience,
All right.
right?
Well, we'll bring you the dessert cart first. We'll just start there, and then we'll move through the rest of the courses.
I
for
like
you.
that. We'll go in reverse. So your expertise is in the event planning process, Maddie.
Yes.
What does that look like?
So I've had a really wide variety of experience within the industry. I've got 2 degrees. I've got one in meeting and event management and one in pastry arts. So that gave me a pretty well-rounded understanding of all of the components from working with the chef teams, from working with different vendors, anywhere from wedding florists to corporate audiovisual companies, a little bit of everything. And that there's so much that goes into the organization behind the scenes, as we had said before guest even sets foot in the door, to make sure that it's going to be a smooth and enjoyable experience. So that's where I take a lot of care to make sure that there's no detail left to fall through the cracks, and that it's always going to be an experience that's stress-free for all of our guests.
Oh, that's so important, especially when there's just so many moving pieces, right?
There
we can
are,
just
yes.
give you all of that.
Yes.
What do your customers or your guests need to have prepared when they're working with you?
Date, time, guest count, and their vision, even if that's just casual dinner. From there, I really guide through the process as far as, okay, here are the little pieces we need. What do you have in mind as far as food selection? And it's, that's a great thing about having our team in-house, is we're able to just kind of guide through that entire process and make it pretty seamless.
Do you recommend that we come in ahead of time to come meet with you if we're wanting to walk through the menu and do some tastings, or what is that like?
I always love to set up tours, especially since we are so new. We just had our grand opening November 5th, and we have so many different spaces. I always love showing everyone around, and it's that you do get a wow factor when you walk in, and being able to really get a feel for the space in person, see what's going to work best for each event. So I always love to do tours, talk about the details in person, and get a better idea of what they're looking for.
So much fun. Make sure to check out davios.com/the colony. Make sure to work with Maddie. She'll take great care of you, and we can't wait to come see you again, Maddie.
Absolutely, anytime.
See you guys later. And this was Talk of the Town with Sarah Crilley. See you guys next time. This show is brought to you by Real News Communications Network, your digital destination for video podcasts, produced by media and podcast experts. Podcasting at the speed of news, powered by Real News PR. Visit realnewscn.com for our podcast show library and launchashow.com to do just that, launch a show.